is the real reason Mormons cannot have coffee. Well, when I was growing up, I was actually taught that the reason we couldn't have coffee was because of the caffeine specifically. When I asked my leaders on my Mormon mission why the rules around beverages were so confusing, they ultimately said that they're not based in any real-world harm, but they're actually based in the idea that God wants to give us an arbitrary commandment and see if we're going to be willing to follow through. And so ultimately, it's not about the temperature of the beverage, and it's also not about the health impacts. It's about your ability to blindly follow any commandment God gives you.
I tried coffee once when I was a kid. Gross. Not sure how you guys do it. Although I don't mind the smell. When I walk past a Starbucks, I'm probably getting secondhand coffee high. We do not obey the word of wisdom for primarily health reasons. Although very clearly there are health benefits. It has nothing to do with caffeine, even if some members cite that is the reason. We keep the word of wisdom because Jesus asked us to. The same Jesus that said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." It is not about blind obedience. It is about trusting the God who parted the Red Sea to save the Israelites, who lived and died and was resurrected to save us from death and hell. The resurrected God who healed the multitudes at the temple in the Americas. The God who restored his New Testament church on earth through the prophet Joseph Smith. That same God has always asked for sacrifice, and that sacrifice always leads to the promised land. That is the God I will follow, and I can give up lattes to obey him. You are a self-professed atheist, throwing stones and making light of the faith of others. Atheists don't just abandon God, they replace him. We do not worship the same God, but you do worship a God. You still have a value hierarchy with something at the very top. There is a God that you worship, and your entire life rearranges to orient towards your new deity. And you are following the commandments of that deity, arbitrarily. So what God did you replace Jesus with? What is the God you worship and obey? What God do you make sacrifices to now?